Hello and happy June, everyone. July. Oh my gosh. Woo. Speaking of June, I know for myself, especially at the end, and I'm kind of still in it, was pretty intense. So I'm curious if any of you have continued to feel this intensity. That for me, it looks like I'm being guided to do something bigger. So I am actually rebranding and co-creating a new website with my brand and business coaches, and it's stirring up for me a lot of deeper layers that I didn't even know were there, of fear of uh, it not being good enough, fear of what if people don't like it, also a lot of overwhelm and this pressure that I have to get it all done yesterday, right? So my my perfectionist, my pleaser, and my pretending to be superhuman part of me have all been triggered in quite a profound, intense way, which came out of left field for me. So many of you might also be experiencing that and not knowing what that was or what this is. And it is this speeding up of energy that I talked about last month in June. It started in June. We thought things were fast before, they're speeding up even more now, which means we're getting opportunities to heal these deeper layers, release these limiting beliefs and fears so that we can live more from our soul and share our gifts and not just give, but receive more love in all the ways that we can receive it in all areas of our life. So, I want to, before I get into July, I just want to talk about something that happened at the end of June and is still continuing. So, June 26th through September 2nd, Mercury, the planet of communication, is in the sign of Leo, which is fire energy, courage, um, wanting wanting the light to be focused and shined on them or us, and really expressing more of who we really are. So the courage to do that. And so, as I spoke about in June as well, right, we had the star card, which was really about that. And so what is happening, what I'm seeing is not just for myself, but my private clients, that we are continuing to get very big opportunities again. And our ego's wounded parts might call them challenges or mistakes or negative. And that is not the case, right? That is not the case. These are all opportunities. We are not victims. We are powerful souls that set ourselves up for this crazy adventure to show us how powerful we are and what we are here to overcome, and then support others to do the same. So as we move in to July, so July, the card, I'm gonna switch back to tarot card for the month, and then we'll go ahead and go into a little more astrology. So I also just heard you need to let them know. So some of you may have noticed that and heard, right? I've been talking about it a little bit on social media and a little bit in my email community that I got married in May and am changing my personal name from Penny Stevens, so Tanya Stevens now. And I'm also rebranding. So you're going to start to see some changes in my current website and title and things like that. And the website, the new website, will be hopefully complete by the end of August. So just also wanted to share that, right, in case people are like, wait, what happened to Tanya Penny? So it's Tanya Stevens now, and I've decided to also change my title. So Mind Body Healing Guide and Spiritual Mentor. So wanted to share that exciting news with all of you, which is also stirring up a lot of my stuff. So July is the card that was chosen, and this was back in January, where I chose cards from the Syrian Starseed Tarot, which is interesting because we're going to be talking about the Sirius Gateway today. It starts today, July 2nd. But the tarot card that was chosen from this deck is the Hanging Man. So at first, like when you first hear that, you might be like, oh my God, like death? No, not at all. So really what the Hanging Man card is saying is that it's time to slow down in order to expand. So, number one, our superhuman's not going to like that. And two, it's necessary when we are upgrading, when we are rising to our next divine level, right? Our next divine level, consciousness, soul, whatever you want to call it. We often need to do, what we often need to do is to slow down. Kind of like, think about the caterpillar in the goo before it becomes the butterfly. So we are in, many of us, the goo right now. We are the caterpillar in the goo. Metamorphosis is happening. It's the fetus in the womb is another way. I'm giving you all these metaphors, so whatever resonates with you, right? So some of us might feel in limbo. And yes, we're between worlds. We're between your next, where you are now and your next level. And to get to that next level, to fully expand into your next level, this card is telling us in July, we need to slow down. We need to become still. Silence and reflection. There are, 4 planets retrograde during this month of July. Retrograde is all about slowing down to reflect on what hasn't been working and then getting guidance on what you need to do to change that so it can work moving forward. So again, a lot of us will be healing these deeper layers of wounds and traumas that are holding these limiting beliefs and fears. And working with those parts of us, right? Stepping in and being that divine parent, working with those parts of us so that we can receive. This important thing to remember. Why do we want to heal these wounds and traumas? So that you actually can release what is holding you back from fully connecting with and embodying who you came here to be on a soul level. And fully receiving and being able to then follow your soul's guidance. That is why we were doing this. That is what blocks that. And it also blocks you receiving more love, right? In all the areas of your life that you're being called to upgrade. So again, it takes slowing down to do this, to do the deeper work, deeper healing work, and then to also rest, because deep healing requires rest. We also need to slow down in order to get our soul's guidance. Again, we got to clear out the gunk, but then we actually have to take the time to connect with our soul every day, and really our unseen divine team too, whatever you call that part of you, parts of you, angels, guides, Jesus, God, nature. So those are the 2 big reasons we're being called to slow down this month, for deeper healing, and then also to connect with our soul and our unseen divine team and get more guidance, right? So what is really happening is a rebirth. It is a rebirth. So some questions you may want to ask yourself. What is it that I need to meditate on, right? Really, in meditation is reflection. Part of meditation is reflection. It's reflection and also asking for guidance, right? So what areas of my life do I need to meditate on, and how can I shift them? How do I need to look at things in a different way? So Again, when we clear out the gunk, the limiting beliefs and fears, we're going to be able to see more clearly what is really happening, why we're being triggered. A lot of us have been ignoring what hasn't been working in our life. And so this is like, hey, wake up, right? It's time. Like, you don't have to settle anymore. You don't have to settle. What needs to change? What am I waiting for clarity on? And maybe you're getting the clarity, but fear's been blocking it, which is, again, why we have to soothe and work with our fearful, wounded parts, mostly on a daily basis. How am I feeling suspended in time or on hold? How can I let go of any desired outcome and just relax? Where am I stuck and why? So many of you, like many of my clients, might be getting soul guidance, right? This is a thing that needs to change. This is what needs to go. And yet you're not taking those inspired actions that are going to help you to do that, internal and or external. So we really want to connect with the part of us that is afraid of moving forward and making these changes, taking these actions. So that is the tarot card for the month. And then I just want to touch on some other, what I consider important astrology pieces. So again, we are still in, the sun is still in Cancer until, I believe, July 22nd-ish, depending on where you're living. And the sign of Cancer is all about nurturing, providing emotional safety, comfort. It's about the divine feminine, the divine mother. So we're really being called first to nurture ourselves, to care for ourselves and show up for ourselves, right? Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially. Then we can consider nurturing others. So whether you're a parent or fill in the blank, a coach, a healer, a doctor, if your cup is not full, which means if you are not nurturing yourself to at least 80% a day, you're not going to be able to give to others nurture others without depleting yourself. Many of us have to get sick, right? I had to get MS in order for me to see this and to make this change. So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's necessary. And then the body parts that are associated with Cancer are stomach and breasts. So you're also going to want to look up your house number. So go to your birth chart and look up the sign of Cancer and then trace it and see what number house it's in. And then you can Google that. If you're in my program, I have a cheat sheet called Astrology 101. So you can go there and read that number under houses, or you can Google house number astrology if you're not in my Evolved Journey program. Something else that's pretty significant that we're in right now, actually two things. Let's say this, on July 4th, which is for many of us, at least in the US, it is the 4th of July. And on July 4th, astrologically, Venus is conjunct with Uranus. And this is very explosive, freedom, breakthrough, break up energy, bucking the systems, saying no more, right? Whatever area of your life, right? I'm going to say you're going to want to look at, Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus, and I think Venus is in Cancer still. So you're going to want to look at those house numbers again of those signs to see where it might be time to have a breakthrough, a break up, more freedom. So Venus, though, is the planet of love and relationships. And so here it is with Uranus, which is the planet of disruption and freedom. So you want to look at your relationship with yourself, number one. And your perfectionist is one of the biggest things that can hold you back from loving yourself. It says, I'm not good enough, right? I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy. And then it also can look at relationships with others and how are you settling for less, right? How are you not receiving what you deserve and desire? How is your relationship one way? Maybe in your job, maybe it's personally, but maybe it's professionally in your job. Like you're not getting paid what you need to be getting paid, or you're taking on way too many projects, right? Trying to be a pleaser, superhuman. So this energy is really supporting us to have that breakthrough or that breakup with whatever it is in your life that hasn't been working. And it's oftentimes going to be in relationship to you, self-love, but also relationships then with others. Because the more self-love we have, the more we embody our own worth, right? The less that we're going to just settle in other areas in our life, specifically relationships, whether it's work relationships or personal relationships. So that energy is helping us on July 4th. Man, there is a lot happening this month, but I can't go into all of it right now. But for those of you in the Evolve Journey program, you'll be getting a weekly report on Mondays with a deeper dive. So let's talk just a little bit about July 2nd, today through the 7th, the Sirius Gateway. So it's the alignment of our sun and the star Sirius, which is considered to be our spiritual sun. So this offers light activations, which can give us more intuition, more spiritual advancements, including connecting more with our soul and our unseen team, access higher energy and really high frequency, high vibration energy for creative inspiration and innovations and all that good stuff. It might be easier to also connect with and receive messages from your if you're part of the Sirian starseed. Or maybe you were in a previous life, and so you're going to get some more remembrance on that. So it's a really good time to focus on anything that will allow you to feel and have more freedom in your life. So this is super powerful, and this is happening through the 7th, today, July 2nd through the 7th. So let's see what else. Another biggie on the 7th, and this goes through November 8th, Uranus is going to be in Gemini. Now, it's been in Taurus since 2018, and Uranus is only in Gemini once every 84 years, like a really long time. So again, it's asking you right now, start reflecting on what have you done over the last 7 years in your house of Taurus? What upgrades, what shifts, what positive changes have you made? So you can look at your birth chart and again, go to Gemini and see what house number, Taurus and see what house number. And then moving forward, it is moving again into Gemini. And this is an air sign. So it's been in an earth sign. Taurus has a lot to do with material, self-worth. But again, it's going to depend on what house number you're in. Gemini is an air sign. It is fast. It is focused. It is moving forward energy. Communication, increased guidance, energy, telepathy, more connection with your unseen divine team and other starseed beings. So we're going to have this need because Gemini is about communication, right? And Uranus is kind of this disruptive, really explosive, big energy. And so there's going to be more, I'm going to say, higher level communication possible, and more of us expressing what we want, need, and desire in our relationships. And there might also be this shocking truth or revelations, and just this need for more authentic, deep, fulfilling, truthful. The big word is truth, right? When we are sharing in our relationships, personally and professionally. So asking us to do communication in a more authentic way, and also to connect more deeply with that unseen divine team. Okay, then we have a full moon on, depending again on where you live, July 10th. This is in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is all about hard work, discipline, responsibility. And so really it's encouraging us to be logical, to really look at the bigger picture and, okay, what is it that I want, need, desire? And then what are those practical, inspired action steps, internal, external, that I need to start taking? Baby steps or big steps moving forward, right? So it's responsibility. It's saying, yes, I'm in charge of my life. I'm a powerful soul and I'm capable of making these changes. Then we have a move into Leo. The sun moves into Leo on July 22nd, again, depending on where you live. And Leo is fire energy. It is courage. It is playfulness. It is the body. I'm going to say play energy, but also this energy of courage and really wanting to express and be and like who you really are and feeling more self-worth. And the body areas that are affected are the backbone and the heart. So the heart chakra area, front and back. And that day also, there is a Pluto retrograde into Aquarius that day. Pluto is all about the underworld, the shadow, transformation. So that's an interesting combination on that day. Again, there might be power struggles. There might be this where we've been trying to control things versus surrender, and that's not going to work anymore. And we realize, like, this is what I can control, and this is what I can't. And I definitely can't control others, right? I can only control my thoughts, words, actions, etc. And then the last thing I want to mention, oh, yes, and then on the 24th, there's the Leo new moon. That is actually when Pluto retrogrades Aquarius on that Leo new moon. So everything I just said, but also goes to the 24th. And then on July 30th, Chiron, the wounded healer, goes retrograde. So it's going to be and I believe it's an Aries. So you're going to want to go to your house number that Aries is in and read that. And we know that when we are retrograding in Chiron, it's a deeper reflection on what wounds are still holding us back, and to do that deeper work in a more, I'm going to say, not intense, but in a bigger way during that time. And so again, if you go look at what house number your Aries sign is in, it's going to give you a clue as to where, right? What is the focus? What is the focus? So a few other little reminders for those that are in my Evolved Journey community program. This month, we are focusing on your truth and boundaries key, right? Goes perfectly with the 4th of July. And again, really remembering that slowing down is necessary to speed up, is the way people like to say it. I like to say it's necessary to expand, to have that next rise to that next level. And so really calling in courage, calling in the support of your divine team, seen and unseen, knowing that you still, as a powerful soul, have to take the action, so no one's going to do it for you. And really, more than ever, grounding your nervous system on a daily basis, self-care, soothing. Those of you that are in my year-long program, my Evolved Journey program, right? We want to make sure we're using a self-healing process right now, at least every other day, some of you every day, as well as at least one guided therapeutic meditation practice, preferably two. And using water to help release and purge, also using fire, being out in nature as much as possible. Really, really, really important. So sending all of you a lot of courage and compassion. This journey is not easy. So courage, compassion, and just a gentle reminder that you are capable. Whatever you're moving through right now, you're capable, I'm capable, we're capable. Okay, and we're not doing this alone. Yes, we've got to take the actions, but then we can ask for that support from our seen and unseen divine team. We cannot do this alone. So if you'd like more of my support this month, Moving forward, you can find all of those links below. All right. Love you. Would love to hear from you in the comments. Namaste.